Hi, this is Derek Murphy. I'm gonna make a video about something I saw in a book I read a while ago, which was The Queen's Poisoner, which is a good book. It surprised me because it was it looks like young adult fantasy, but it was actually middle grade. The character was like 9 or 10, the whole first book, and I didn't realize, so it's more like other middle grade fiction, except it's only the first book, and then in the second book, they're 18 or 19 or something. I haven't read the second book yet, which is kind of an interesting thing to do if you go from middle grade and then switch to young adult, because that's two different audiences. However, what I really liked about this book is at the end of the book they had a letter from the author, which is something I liked enough that I am going to start doing it in my own books. And so this video is kind of talking through what that looks like. Basically, it's also about what to put in your back matter. So normally in my books, at the end of my book, I'll have a call to action, which will be, sign up to get more free books. And then I'll probably have an about the author where I have a short, a couple paragraphs about me, about my background, why I started writing, whatever. I haven't put as much thought into it as I should have. And there are some problems with the way I've been doing it. Mostly because if they read your book, they might be a little bit interested in you as the author, but not very interested. That's really where you want to start building a relationship with readers. And also, even if you have a pretty good call to action, you might only get 10 or 20% of readers to sign up to your email list so that you can start building a better relationship with them. And you don't want to wait that long because then you're losing most of your audience. So you really want to build a relationship with readers at the end of your book and not wait until they're on your list or until they're following you on social media. So you don't just want a call to action that says follow me or sign up to my list. You really want to put something that will build trust and relatability with your readership. And so this letter from the author worked really well because it wasn't just about him. It wasn't just like, I like to write books and this is why I like to write books. It wasn't that. It was like the process, the behind the scenes process of writing this specific book, which was really interesting, more interesting because readers who have just read the book, it's more story related. So they're being introduced more to the author because the author is just talking to them directly and using his own voice, but they're also learning more about the process that went into writing that book, which is pretty interesting. It's more interesting than just the author's biography and more relatable and more personal because it's like the author's actually talking to them. So I like that idea. He talked about like where he got his inspiration for the story, what other historical events or books influence his story, what kind of styles he was using. I don't remember if he something that's usually pretty easy to build trust and likability is to mention a few other best-selling books. Like for example, I'm a big fan of Twilight and Harry Potter, and this book is Hunger Games meets whatever. It feels a little fake to, it's okay to use that in your sales copy because you do want to sell in your sales copy, so it's fine to say, my book is X-Men meets Hunger Games, but it's also a little bit not believable, and it can, especially if after they've read the story they don't really believe that, it may not work so well. If you set their sights too high, they can be disappointed by the quality of your writing if they don't feel like that really fit. But if you just say, in your author bio, I really like those books inspired me, I want to write something kind of similar, that's not so bad and can make you seem more like a human so that readers can relate to you. So in a note from the author at the end, you want to make it just really kind of relaxed and personal. You want to share the excitement of you writing the book. I don't think I would focus on like why I wrote the book, especially if it's propaganda. Like I wanted to write the book for anti-bullying or to help people with mental illnesses or something. It's okay to have a cause or a purpose like that, but especially if you can relate it to yourself. If it's just like because I want to support a cause, it won't be as believable. If you do it because a family member has been suffering with this, or you have personal experience with some cause, or like why does this matter to you? Why does this book matter to you? But even so, like you want to write a good book because it's a good book, not necessarily for a cause or a purpose. Personally, I think that, but Anyway, this video is basically to say I'm going to start doing something like this. I think it's a good idea to have 3 or 4 pages in the back of your book that's a letter from the author introducing the process that you went through to write this book, any struggles that you had, any difficulties you came across, why you like certain characters or other characters, or what those characters were based on, how you personally relate. Like maybe one of your characters is into pole vaulting or archery, and you actually went to study those traits or practice those activities so that you could make them more realistic. For me personally, like I'm living in a castle right now in Austria, and we're visiting a lot of medieval cities around Europe. That's stuff that I can put in the book. Like I was writing this book while it was snowing and we were renting a 12th century fortress in Austria. That's something that's very interesting and related to the book that will probably appeal to readers, make me seem kind of cool as a writer. And it's also like you want to introduce things of relatability. Like I might mention I drink Diet Coke and I eat cookies all day long and I sleep until noon. Like anything that makes you likable and relatable to your readers. I also like animals a lot, so we don't have any cats in the castle, but we have goats and bunnies and alpaca, which is kind of a fun trivia, and we can hear the alpaca at night. Kind of they store them down below and we can hear them mooing or mowling or whatever the noises that they make. So those are like interesting tidbits or anecdotes that bring out aspects of my personality but also tie into the book that I'm writing that the readers have just read. That's the kind of thing you want to do in the back. So I think telling a story, the story of the book, rather than the story of the author or a short professional sounding author bio, which I think most readers probably just skip over that anyway. They're probably not likely to follow you on social media unless you tell the story first. If you can tell a 2 or 3 word interesting story of the experience and process of writing the book, they'll be much more likely to follow you on social media if you put your call to action at the end of that. So I might actually, like in the back matter, finish my story, have an immediate opt-in offer that says like, did you like this? Go buy book 2 right now. It's on pre-order, or sign up to my email list to get a sneak peek of book 2. I think that's a pretty strong offer where they can start reading 3 sample bonus chapters right away. Or if you have a prequel to that book, like if you can write an extra 10 pages or something of a prequel, character motivation, backstory, anything even that you've like taken out of the book, but that's content specific. So your opt-in offer should really be related to the book that the readers have just finished reading. They'll be more likely to opt in. So if you can have that kind of an opt-in offer, and then your letter from the author, which can be 3 or 4 pages of stories and anecdotes. I wouldn't really do like, why I wanted to be a writer, or I've been writing ever since I was a little kid. I wouldn't really put that much personal detail because they don't really care about you yet. They care about the story they've read. But if you tell them more about the story they've just read and your process of writing it, like you introduce yourself through the story to tie the 2 together, I think that's going to work a lot better. And then you could have another call to action at the end of your introduction, which could be like get another free book or follow me on social media. So that's probably something I will go through and try to restructure. I'm not doing that right now, but I haven't been really doing my email list stuff well, and I would like to be doing it a lot better. I used to have a lot of perma-free books, so I had a lot of downloads and my list was growing pretty quickly. I've taken most of my perma-free books off and turned them into paid books, and I need to write more perma-free books. Although I'm not really sure at this point, I may not do that anymore because I have a pretty big list now and I just don't need the perma-free books as much as I needed to when I started off writing and I needed to build a platform. Now I can kind of just finish a book and launch it, and it'll be earning and it'll do pretty well. So I may be doing less perma-free in the future. I'm not totally sure yet, but I do need to start going back and fixing my opt-in offers and my, the back matter of each book, so that when you get a sale, you really get the most value out of it, because you could sell 10 books a day and only get one opt-in offer, and that's really not great, because those readers might not leave reviews, they may not follow you, they may not get your next book. But if you can build the relationship with them in the book before they have to decide whether to sign up to your list or follow you on social media, that's really powerful. That's very worth doing. I think a lot of authors really aren't doing this or doing it well, which is why when The Queen's Poisoner, I forget his name, but I hadn't seen it done as well as he was doing it, which is great, because if you can do something that other authors aren't doing and up your game, that can be hugely valuable to you in terms of platform building. So if you can build a little bit of a relationship with them immediately after reading the story, so that they follow up and sign up or follow you on social media, so that you can encourage them to leave reviews and continue building a relationship with them, that's something you really want to focus on. So that's something I will be revising in my own platform hopefully soon, but at least going forward on new releases, I'll be more likely to pay attention to that and fix those things. So hopefully this video gives you, one good actionable tip that you can implement. I think also in the same way for nonfiction, if you write something relatable in nonfiction, you don't just want to pitch your accolades or your degrees or experiences or whatever. You really want to talk about the story of writing, of writing the book in a way that also indirectly makes you look good. Like you indirectly want to say, you want to indirectly make yourself look really good without just saying, I'm a best-selling author and I've won all these awards. You want to kind of make it personal and relatable and a little bit more casual, so it doesn't just sound salesy, but also you want to include all the information that makes people trust you, so that they're more likely to sign up for your content upgrade. Or hopefully if you're writing nonfiction, you're also selling an online course, or you have a coaching package, or you have something else for sale at a higher price point, which is a good idea to do. So this is something that I think could help whether you write fiction or nonfiction. Thanks, bye-bye.